10 months after my ex ended everything by text and ordered me never to contact her, a government clerk called. She listed you on the birth record. Then she added, "You may be the father." "Which birth record?" I asked. She identified herself as an employee of the government registry and explained that a child's birth had recently been reported. My details had been submitted as the possible father. "Who gave you my information?" She said my ex-girlfriend's name. "Erin." My hand tightened around the phone. "There has to be a mistake." The clerk confirmed an old address and several personal details only Erin would have known. "When was the baby born?" She said the formal documents would contain the information I was entitled to receive. Until then, she could not discuss everything over the phone. "But Erin told you I'm the father? Your information was provided in connection with the registration. Does that make me legally responsible?" "I can't provide legal advice. The documents will explain how to respond if you agree or disagree." That answer made it real. My name was moving through a government office beside the name of a newborn child, and I had no idea the child existed. Before ending the call, she confirmed my mailing address and told me not to ignore the paperwork. I remained beside the dryer after the call ended, staring at my dark phone screen. 10 months earlier, Erin had made it clear she never wanted to hear from me again. Now she had pulled me back into her life without speaking to me. The dryer started beeping. I carried my clothes home unfolded and left the basket near the door. Then I opened the calendar on my phone. I already knew what I was trying to calculate. If the baby had been born recently, the pregnancy could have begun near the end of our relationship. I counted backward once. That was enough. The child could be mine. I sat at the kitchen table and opened Erin's contact. I had never deleted her number. I had only changed the name. "Do not call." For months, that label had stopped me from doing something I might regret. Now I typed 4 words beneath it. "Is the baby mine?" I didn't send them. To understand why, you have to understand how Erin left. A few days before the breakup, she went to a clinic because she had been feeling unwell. Her doctor recommended testing for an infection that can sometimes remain unnoticed. She asked me to get tested too. I did. We both received positive results. Erin called me as soon as she found out. "You cheated on me." I thought I had misheard her. "What?" "You heard me. I didn't cheat." "Then explain how we both have the same infection." I couldn't give her the simple answer she wanted. Neither of us had been tested before we started dating. I had never been tested at all. The clinic explained that the result could not tell us when the infection had been acquired. I tried to tell her that. She heard only blame. "So now you're saying I gave it to you?" "I'm saying we don't know." "I know." "No. You've decided. Because there's only one explanation." "There isn't." She hung up. For the next 2 days, she answered only when she wanted to accuse me again. I sent her information from the clinic. I asked her to speak with a doctor before deciding what the result meant. Her final response was short. "Stop trying to manipulate me." The next morning, I left town to help a relative clear out a house before it was sold. I expected to be gone for 3 days. On the second afternoon, Erin sent me a message. "I know what kind of person you are now. We're done." I called her. She rejected the call. I asked her to wait until I returned so we could speak face to face. "There's nothing to discuss." I was still standing in the driveway reading that message when my neighbor called. He asked if I knew Erin was inside my house. "She's carrying bags to her car," he said. "She has a key." "I know. I just thought you should know." I called her again. This time, I went straight to voicemail. I sent one message. "Please don't take anything that isn't yours. I'll be back tomorrow." She didn't respond. I told my neighbor not to confront her. I didn't want an argument happening outside my house while I was several hundred kilometers away. When I returned the following evening, Erin was gone. So were her clothes, toiletries, books, and photographs. That part made sense. What didn't make sense were the other empty spaces. She had taken a portable speaker I owned before we met, a camera, 2 kitchen appliances, and a hard drive filled with old photographs and personal documents. Her key was on the kitchen counter beside a folded note. She wrote that she refused to stay with someone who had betrayed her. She said any attempt to contact her would prove I had no respect for her boundaries. The final line was underlined. "Do not contact me again." I stood in that kitchen for a long time. I wanted to drive to her place and demand an explanation. I wanted my property returned. More than anything, I wanted her to look me in the eye while accusing me. But I knew how easily anger could be used against me. If I went to her home, she could say I frightened her. If I kept calling, she could say I harassed her. So I sent one final email listing the belongings that were mine. I told her she could leave them with a mutual friend. She never answered. I did not contact her again. At first, I believed she would calm down. I thought another conversation with the doctor might make her realize the test results did not prove infidelity. Even if the relationship was over, I expected her to return my things and give me the chance to speak. That never happened. The silence lasted for weeks, then months. I considered reporting the missing belongings, but most of them could be replaced. I didn't want another dispute tying us together. The hard drive was the only thing I couldn't replace. It held years of family photographs and files I had never backed up. Eventually, I accepted that it was gone. Accepting the breakup took longer. It wasn't only that Erin had left. It was the speed with which she turned our entire relationship into evidence against me. One week, we were making plans. The next, she spoke as if every good memory had been a trick. For months, I replayed the end of our relationship looking for something I had missed. There had been evenings when she seemed distracted. A night she came home later than expected. Messages she angled away from me while answering. None of that proved anything. Maybe the infection came from my past. Maybe it came from hers. Maybe one of us had carried it unknowingly for years. I refused to accuse her without proof, even though she had given me no such consideration. Eventually, I stopped expecting an apology. I stopped checking my email. Friends encouraged me to start dating again, but I wasn't ready. I didn't want Erin back. I simply didn't trust my own judgment anymore. By the 10th month, I thought the worst was behind me. Then the registry called. The next morning, I contacted the office again. I explained that the woman who had provided my details had ordered me not to contact her 10 months earlier. The employee told me that paperwork had been sent. I would be able to acknowledge the information or dispute parentage until it was confirmed through the proper process. Could she submit my name without asking me? She can provide information about the person she believes may be the father, the employee said. That does not necessarily complete the process. What happens if I do nothing? You should not ignore official correspondence. For the next 5 days, I checked the mailbox whenever I heard a vehicle outside. Part of me hoped the call had been an administrative mistake. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday. It was thick, white, and marked with the registry's logo. I placed it on the kitchen table and left it unopened while I made coffee. I walked into the living room, returned, and finally broke the seal. The first pages explained the process. Then I found the child's details. The baby had been born 7 weeks earlier. I looked at the date and counted backward. The likely conception period fell during the last month Erin and I were together. There was no way to dismiss it. I could be the father. Then I saw the child's name. Oliver. I whispered it without meaning to. Until that moment, I had been thinking about forms, signatures, and DNA tests. A name changed everything. Oliver was not a problem inside an envelope. He was a baby waking up hungry, crying in the middle of the night, gripping someone's finger. And he might be mine. I searched the documents for a letter from Erin. There was nothing. No explanation. No acknowledgement that I had learned about him from a stranger. She had provided my full name, an old address, and enough information for the registry to locate me. She could have used those same details to contact me herself. Instead, she waited until after the birth. That was when anger replaced shock. If Erin believed I might be Oliver's father, she had known for months that my life could change completely. She could have sent one email. I'm pregnant. You may be the father. She could have asked a friend to contact me. She could have written a letter. She had chosen silence. Then I remembered the timing of the breakup. The pregnancy might have already begun when she accused me of being unfaithful. For the first time, I allowed myself to wonder whether there had been someone else. Maybe Erin had blamed me before I could question her. Maybe she had ended the relationship because she was uncertain who the father was. Or maybe I was doing exactly what she had done, using incomplete information to build the most painful explanation possible. I needed facts. I arranged a meeting with a family lawyer and brought the documents. She listened as I explained the medical results, the breakup, the stolen belongings, and the no-contact instruction. When I finished, she asked one question. Is it biologically possible that you are the father? Yes. Then respond to the paperwork. But if you have genuine uncertainty, do not formally acknowledge parentage without confirmation. So I request a DNA test? You state that you want parentage established through the appropriate process. Should I contact Erin? That depends on what you expect from the conversation. I want to know why she waited. You may not get an honest answer. She advised me to keep copies of Erin's messages, communicate in writing when possible, and avoid accusations I could not prove. I returned home and completed the response form. I was not claiming Oliver wasn't mine. I was stating that I did not know. That distinction mattered. I signed the form and mailed it the following morning. A week later, Erin contacted me. Her message arrived just after midnight. I was notified that you disputed the registration. Those were the first words she had sent me in 10 months. I read them twice before answering. You told me never to contact you. I learned about Oliver from the registry. I need a DNA test before I sign anything. The typing bubble appeared. You know he's yours. I know it's possible. You were my boyfriend. That doesn't confirm biological parentage. Her response came immediately. Still pretending you're innocent. I felt the old argument opening between us. This is not about the infection. It's about confirming whether I am Oliver's father. You're unbelievable. Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? The typing bubble vanished. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. I thought she was finished. Finally, a new message appeared. I didn't know what I was going to do. What does that mean? She did not answer. I asked the question that had been sitting in my mind since I saw the birth date. Did you know you were pregnant when you left? This time, she answered with one word. Yes. I stood up from the kitchen table. She had known. Maybe she had only recently discovered it. Maybe she had been frightened and confused. But she had entered my house, taken her belongings, left the note, and ordered me to disappear while knowing she might be carrying my child. You knew and said nothing? I was scared. Of me? Of everything. I would have helped. You would have made it about yourself. I stared at the message. You listed me as his father without speaking to me. How is that not involving me? You are his father. Then agree to the test. Her answer took longer. I shouldn't have to prove anything to you. That was the moment my suspicion became impossible to ignore. If you're certain, the test will confirm it. She didn't respond. I waited, then typed the question carefully. Is there someone else who could be Oliver's father? She called me immediately. Her name filled the screen. I almost let it ring out, but I answered. What did you just accuse me of? She demanded. I asked the question. You haven't changed. I never accused you of cheating. You lied enough for both of us. I did not cheat on you. Here we go again. No. You don't get to use that accusation every time I ask for facts. She went silent. Then I heard a baby crying in the background. Every thought in my head stopped. The cry was thin and tired, followed by a small gasp. My voice softened before I could stop it. Is he okay? He's fine. She moved away from the phone and whispered something to him. It was the first time I had heard her sound gentle in almost a year. Can I see him? I asked. The question came out too quickly. Aaron didn't answer. I mean after the test, I added. If he's mine. You only want the test because you want to humiliate me. I want the test because you hid a pregnancy, told me never to contact you, and let a government employee tell me I might have a son. I didn't hide him. You knew before you left. You don't understand what I went through. You never gave me the chance. I couldn't trust you. Then why put my name on the form? The baby cried again. Aaron exhaled sharply. Because I need you to be his father. I went quiet. She had not said she knew I was his father. She said she needed me to be. What does that mean? The call ended. I tried once to call back. She did not answer. The following morning, she sent one message saying all future communication should happen through the formal process. I saved screenshots of everything. The DNA test has not happened yet. The registry has accepted my response, and I am waiting for instructions. Aaron has returned to silence. I have not seen a photograph of Oliver. I don't know whether he has my eyes, my hands, or nothing from me at all. If the test confirms he is mine, I will be part of his life. Whatever happened between Aaron and me will not become his punishment. But I don't know what that life will look like. I don't know how two people who distrust each other this much are supposed to raise a child together. And if the test says Oliver is not mine, I will still be left wondering why Aaron chose my name. Maybe she truly believes I am the father. Maybe fear made her handle everything in the worst possible way. Or maybe the person she believes is Oliver's father refused to take responsibility, and she chose the man she thought would not walk away. That possibility keeps me awake. The government envelope is still on my kitchen table. Aaron's number is still saved as do not call. And somewhere, a baby who may be my son is growing older while I wait for a test to decide whether I already missed the beginning of his life. I keep asking myself whether demanding proof makes me responsible or heartless. But after 10 months of silence, I cannot build my future, or Oliver's, on Aaron's certainty alone. Not when the last thing she said may have revealed more than she intended. I need you to be his father.